These events may be a part of history, but you'd still probably want to see them done up on the big screen. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 events that deserve Hollywood adaptations. For this list, we're focusing mainly on major historical events and not minor side conflicts or stories. Also, if the subject has featured in a documentary, it's still eligible for this list.
Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this.
Number 10. The Tiananmen Square protests of 1989.
The troops have been firing indiscriminately, but still, there are thousands of people on the streets who will not move back.
Here's an event so controversial and world-changing that the country it happened in still refuses to really acknowledge it. If that's not film-worthy, we don't know what is.
The government has to admit that this demonstration is a patriotic demonstration.
The 1989 student-led protests and subsequent government crackdown that occurred in Beijing, China, contain many elements that are ripe for a big-screen adaptation, including times of political and social unrest, unprecedented displays of military power, and an ending featuring a tragic loss of life.
I've seen people hang up posters saying, "Hang Li Peng, the premier," saying, "Heroes, they're martyrs, will never die," saying, "Smash the fascists."
It would also be amazing to see what certain directors would do with iconic moments like the Tank Man. Number 9. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria.
So, without even hesitating, he pulled his revolver out and fired 2 shots. One shot hit Ferdinand in the chest, the other hit Sophie in the stomach.
If any incident could be labeled as the moment that jump-started the events of an entire century, this was it. The shooting of the Archduke in June 1914 by a Bosnian Serb named Gavrilo Princip triggered a chain reaction that began the First World War. And it could be argued that the fallout from that conflict led to even bigger ones. This event plays like a great political thriller and could be turned into a tension and dread-filled adaptation, considering the fact that audiences already know what happened following the Archduke's death. Number 8. The Hunt for Blackbeard. This fearsome pirate deserves more than just getting shoehorned into a Pirates of the Caribbean sequel.
And what fate befalls mutineers? Now we know the answer to that, do we not? Mutineers.
Formerly Edward Teach, the pirate known as Blackbeard gained notoriety in the 1700s after capturing a French merchant ship, equipping it with weapons, and naming it the Queen Anne's Revenge. Following this, he went on a piracy campaign that lasted less than a year, with the highlight being the blockade and ransom of South Carolina, before he died in battle in 1718. If that reign of terror isn't reason enough, it would just be awesome to see a faithful screen version of the real-life inspiration for most modern pirates in pop culture today.
I'll pilfer all your rotten salad back at the profit, 'cause I'm a criminal legend with a badass name.
Number 7. The July 7th, 2005 London bombings.
All of a sudden there was just an explosion. Big white appeared, and then it was just smoke everywhere. In the tunnel, we was trying to close the doors because it was just smoke, we couldn't breathe.
Modern terrorism came to England on July 7th, 2005, when 4 Islamist extremists detonated bombs on London trains and buses during morning rush hour, killing 52 civilians, not including the perpetrators, and wounding over 700. It was the worst terrorist attack in England since 1988's Lockerbie bombing, as well as the nation's first ever Islamist suicide attack. Despite the tragedy, the perseverance of the British people guided them through this dark period.
Our determination to defend our values and our way of life is greater than their determination to cause death and destruction to innocent people.
A movie based on this heinous act could focus on the heroes of that fateful day, and could serve as a worthwhile companion piece to other real-life terrorism-based movies.
Yeah, I'm just calling to tell you that I love you, and goodbye.
Number 6. The Tesla-Edison Feud.
How many geniuses does it take to invent a light bulb? Just one. Thomas Edison.
While the visionary and prolific inventor Thomas Edison is definitely fascinating enough to warrant his own movie, he often overshadows his one-time employee and rival, Nikola Tesla.
Mr. Edison, it is a pleasure.
The latter was a Serbian genius whose story was practically tailor-made for the screen, as it features the development of landmark and outlandish inventions, and at its core is one of the finest examples of the mad scientist archetype.
You can't control it. You'll burn down the city.
Together, Tesla and Edison's rivalry in the War of the Currents, where the two battled for domination in the field of electrical power, could be a captivating tale of two men who should be friends, but end up in direct competition. Too bad we'll never get the chance to see David Bowie play Tesla again, though.
These things never quite work as you expect them to, Mr. Angier. That's one of the principal beauties of science.
Number 5. The search for the Boston Marathon bombers. In April 2013, the United States was brought to a standstill when two Chechen brothers bombed the Boston Marathon. It was the worst attack on American soil since 9/11. What followed was a citywide chase and capture effort that would be a daunting task for even the most skilled and visionary filmmakers to put to screen. The manhunt and capture of the Tsarnaev brothers would be a suspenseful and intense film if done right. It could be like Zero Dark 30, except taking place in one city instead of across the globe, and over 1 week instead of, well, a decade.
Sir, the agency expert gave visual confirmation. Yes, sir, the girl, 100%.
Number 4. The Night Witches. One of the only entries on this list that isn't a completely depressing event. The Night Witches were a group of female Soviet pilots during World War II that performed many successful bombing missions for their homeland. They became the most highly decorated female unit in the Soviet Air Force, and legends in their country. The story of the 80 or so women that made up this elite squadron would make for an epic war movie, showing an aspect of the conflict that seems to have been largely overlooked by history. Number 3. The Chernobyl Disaster.
It's almost certainly the most severe accident that has ever taken place in the short history of civilian nuclear power.
Sure, there have been movies made about what happened after the worst nuclear power plant accident in modern history.
Scott, where's your protective gear?
Or ones where characters just happen to wander into this irradiated wasteland in the Ukraine. But the main event itself is just too intense and significant to not be given its due on film. The disaster that caused radioactive particles to be released all across Europe, triggered health defects that persist to this day, and ensured that the area around the site wouldn't be habitable for the next 20,000 years, is rife with elements that would be fit for a taut thriller or cautionary tale of science gone wrong. Number 2. Jonestown, also known as the People's Temple Agricultural Project.
Reach the fingers out that are bothering you. Now, is the pain gone?
In one of the most bizarre and deadly events of the 20th century, a cult leader named Jim Jones convinced almost 1,000 of his followers to come with him to the South American country of Guyana to start a religious settlement named after him. In 1978, the people's devotion to their leader led them to commit the biggest mass suicide in history, with 909 of Jones' followers dying of cyanide poisoning, while Jones also killed himself. Jim Jones, his religious organization, and the end they met form one of the most fascinating stories of all time. And an enigmatic figure like Jones would be a prime target for a strange, revealing biopic.
He said, if you see me as your friend, I'll be your friend. As you see me as your father, I'll be your father. He said, if you see me as your God, I'll be your God.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Most of the people have lost all confidence. I, however, speak loud and look big.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Cooper did the unthinkable. He lowered the back stairs and jumped out of a speeding 727, thousands of feet over the Pacific Northwest during a raging storm.
There was no sink, no bathroom, no stove, but it was just a barren room.
Number 1. The fall of the Berlin Wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The moment that signaled the eventual end of the Cold War, the reunification of Germany, the lifting of the Iron Curtain. Need we go on?
Thousands and thousands of West Germans come to make the point that the wall has suddenly become irrelevant.
That cold November 1989 night in Berlin, where the people took back their city from communism, carries so much weight and significance that we're honestly shocked that no filmmakers have taken a real crack at putting it on screen. It's a tribute to peaceful revolution, the will of the people, and even the benefits of miscommunication, as the whole thing began due to confusion between the government and the media. Hey, it worked out well in the end, didn't it? Do you agree with our list? What real-life events do you think deserve film adaptations? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
We're not rivals. We're just a couple of dreamers who set the bar a little too high.